Hello, everyone, and welcome back to BFC. We are going into Game 3, final game of the day. We're looking at Team Xclusive versus Team Ritterriffic. Ritterriffic with a nice comeback last time, bringing it back, evening up the score, and some really great play there, especially approaching that 15-minute mark. Just started to run away with that game. Super aggressive, really showed their chops that one.
Yeah, honestly, good comeback. They fixed kind of a few issues that they had in game number one. Lane's been a lot better. The one weak point, or rather, I think more the strong point that's for Xclusive, is still that mid lane, right? Like Seismic getting the Gideon. I don't know if banning out the Gideon will be a solution. I honestly don't think that's enough. And you might open up other things that they can then pick. But maybe it's an option. Like maybe you're like, oh, maybe you ban out the Gideon. But on the other hand, if they pick it first every time and you don't want to like let Grim, for example, be a thing, that I get it. You know, you just have to deal with it. And it dealt with it last time. They've been pretty well.
Yeah, it did go pretty well. And I still think that Gideon is really just never going to fall out of favor.
Of course.
I'd be pretty shocked if Seismic did not go for it if it was open, but we'll have to see. Should be ready on draft in just a moment. But for right now, what do you think are the adaptations that need to be made if you're Team Xclusive to sort of bring that back, have the showing that you made in game one?
Xclusive just has been going all in on the same thing, right? We have tanks, and then we have Xclusive and Seismic behind the tanks. That's kind of what it's been going on. First time around, they did it with a phase to just pull out Xclusive when everything's got too hairy, so they had an escape. Didn't have that escape this time around. That may be an option to do, to like bring that phase back in. They're going to ban out the Chimera this time around because it gave more room at least for Team Ritterriffic to go into that, to be like, well, we're going to jump your back line a little bit more effectively than they could with the Kwang, the Zarus, or the Countess. So that is definitely a good ban for them. Other than that, I mean, their game plan sort of works, right? Like it's kind of, that is their game plan, and they are pretty good at it. But they need those tanks, those tanky characters, and also their ADC to not fall behind too much or at all. And if I'm really honest, so phase out. Open. Yeah, Grim is open, Gideon's open, Aurora's open. They are going to pick up the Grim. I love to see it. We finally get to in this series. We haven't before because it's been manned out. But yeah, Ritterriffic now has a choice to make. They do get to pick up a double. So Zarus is going to be there first again. They haven't strayed from that at all.
Yeah, and we're going to see the Richter is... Okay, so yeah, don't really want to make any crazy changes. They still like that Richter flex pick. They still love the Zarus on Zedazurge. They are giving Gideon over to Team Xclusive. I'd be pretty shocked if it did not get locked in this B2, B3, and there it is, yeah, for Seismic. And yeah, Xclusive already has a pretty powerhouse comp already. They have the Grim, they have the Gideon, really strong picks so far, and they're gonna lock that steal away. Like we said, really good into the Zarus, just able to nullify that lane super, super well. And Ritterriffic does not have the phase, so that Richter could definitely be going support, but it could still be a flex. We'll have to see what ends up happening.
And I mean, last two games we had Richter on Team Xclusive side, so the fact that Team Ritterriffic gets to pick it up this time is pretty good. Paired with the Kira, you got a pretty good dual lane going on. There's not a lot of dual lanes that are necessarily better than that. And because, of course, we've got the phase being banned out, and now we can ban out another support on the side of Team Ritterriffic, they can really mess with the potential of Team Xclusive's composition on the dual lane. Muriel might not have been the pick to go for unless you want to really like add some split pushes and relocate there. But, you know, it's a support to take away. Maybe the Decker could have been good. Maybe, maybe the taking out the Narbash could have been a smart idea, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know how I'm feeling about the Muriel, especially like you can pick into it, right, on that R4, but when you're on blue 4-5 and you have that double pick, what are you really going to set it off, right? Is like you're looking at, I don't know, like a crunch Muriel to go all in. I don't think it was that crazy, and we're gonna see Xclusive ban out the gadget so that they can't have that little microwave combo of that Gladiator plus I'm forgetting the gadget ultimate. You guys know what I'm talking about. Very strong.
The Tesla Dome.
Yeah, Tesla Dome. Thank you. I've always just called it the microwave because you put people in it and they go
They go burr.
100 degrees,
Yeah,
they just
exactly.
cook.
Yeah.
We get some nuggets in there. We
Look at the
exclusively
Argus again
though.
as well. Argus is good. I mean, we saw it work out last time around. Argus versus Gideon. He's been put up to be the antithesis. You know, it works out. We get the Bellica. That is undoubtedly going to be the support because I don't think Gideon will be. Then we have Greystone looking to be in the solo lane.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
Or jungle. Jungle, actually.
Greystone, right? Jungle, yeah. Steel support, right? We put Bellic in the mid lane, right? And we throw Gideon off lane. That's the tech.
Look, hey, if we see it, we see it. I'd say I wouldn't put things past it. On the other hand, you know how well the Gideon's been working for Xclusive. Yeah. I know Seismic is a good Bellica as well. Like, don't get me wrong, that would still be a good pick. But we're going to get that. Gonna get the Kiara Narbash duo again. Ooh, so that did. I mean, it did work out, of course. That's gonna be Richter. Ooh,
jungle, I'd assume, right?
Yeah, or
I mean, it could be. Well, Xer's jungle kind of ate some nerfs, right? They pushed him more into that offlane role, so I'd be pretty see him in the jungle still.
I think this is where the argument of like comfort picks comes back in, right? Like I've talked about this when TJ was on already, because it's a draft tournament. Like you don't have a team that you've been playing with for forever and ever and ever. There are some players on your team you might want to just put on a comfort hero, and in this case, that could be the Xerath. Like the Xerath for Zerga could be like the thing where we just put you on Xerath in solo lane, and that's how we know your lane will be at least good, if not just great. So that's something that might be happening here, which means the Richter will have to go into jungle, because otherwise, you put a Narbash in jungle, which I don't know if you've ever really had much success with it. I personally haven't. Yeah, I think this is going to be it's going to be an interesting game for sure. Like both teams made a couple of adaptations, but not too many. So in the end, it's really going to come down to how well is this this Grim Bellica change going to work. And Bulbo on the Greystone as well. Like they have much less lockdown than they have before, and also less health bars than they had before.
Yeah, and getting into the game here, you can see. It was not any crazy tech. We are going to see the Greystone in the jungle, Xerath in the off lane, as is expected. Pretty standard Crescent start too, nothing too insane coming out just yet. But, who knows? Maybe we could see some interesting tech items, something maybe interesting on the Greystone. But I would expect both teams to sort of be trying as hard as possible just to maintain, right? Especially in these game 3s and these game 5s. At any time that you go to a final game, both teams sort of have that nerves, right? You're right on the edge of making it or getting this better score. So both teams probably just want to play it a bit safer to start off with.
Yeah, I think what we really got to look for here is this jungle matchup. Because we're looking at Richter, who can walk around and actually set up eliminations and be part of that. And then a Greystone who really has to commit a lot to go in. Sure, you've got like the essential 2 live situation, but doesn't put out a whole ton of damage, and also doesn't really support their team in like setting up an elimination. They just kind of jump in and then they're there. And then they're either a distraction or just a large health pool. So I really want to see how that's going to work out versus this potential roaming, riplashing chaos that the Richter provides.
Yeah, and especially in the jungle, it can be really strong, right? Because you just sort of have innate setup for all your lanes if you're able to land that Riplash. If you're not, it can be quite a bit harder, and you can see Tiny Neko goes for the knockup, does not land it, but some really great setup in pretty much all lanes right now. You have the knockup in that duo lane from the Bellica, you have the stuns and the engage from the Steel. And in the mid lane, you have that portal. You can portal in, just run up on them with the Richter. So I really like the comp so far. I think right now I probably favor Team Xclusive just a little bit because, I don't know, the Gideon and the Grim are just really, really strong together.
Sure, yeah. I do think, again, they have 2 like large health targets in the Greystone and the Steel. But they have less CC than they had before. So, I mean, they have CC in different places. Like their Bellica is going to provide a little bit more than, they otherwise would have, especially in smaller spaces where you can stun multiple targets rather than the Richter, who has to kind of get in there to try and do that. But on the other hand, like, it is a very very bursty situation, and they might not be able to get through all that Narbash healing and the frontline health that you get from the Xeris and the Richter in this situation. Plus, they got to lock down Akira and the Argus somehow.
Yeah, that they do. And I mean, it's going to be a bit rough, right? A lot of that lockdown is especially going to come out of the steel once those roams start out, because right now for Team Exclusive, it's the belt's going to knock up and a lot of damage if you're not accounting for that steel. So it's really going to be important for Team Exclusive to get steel out of that off lane, to sort of ditto that matchup and to sort of try and ignore the Xeris, not let him get ahead, get that steel out of lane, get him rotating with the team, and putting the ability to team fight in the hands of them. Because as of right now, it's a bit more favorable, I think, for Team Ritterriffic in those small skirmishes, just because they have a lot more CC on their side.
Honestly, the way that Seismic was standing, like on the edge of the towers, waiting for the minion wave, like that is the statement saying, I'm not just better than you, I also have the faith and the communication with my team to know that I can just stand here and nothing will happen to me. Even though you're Gideon, you have a lot of escape. That is a very confident posture to take, and they're not necessarily wrong. Like that's the cool part about it. Like they know how much their value they're bringing and having, and you know they're acting like it.
Yeah, I mean it's and you can see the damage already coming through from Xanazurge, right? Like Motion's struggling, forced back, but all other lanes are actually doing quite well. Seismic is pushing in. You have Exclusive with the Grim doing very well, and Motion, just has to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show until he's able to get out of that lane.
Yeah. I also like that this time around you see the Richter being in that right side of the jungle, like in their red jungle between the river and the blue, just hovering around the river buff as well, but also being in a position that if someone tries to rotate over to that Xeris being aggressive, they're going to be aware of it and be able to act on it if necessary. They get so much, there's like an extra layer of protection that isn't even really there, but sort of is.
Yeah, some good damage too in mid lane. But yeah, this is what we were saying, right? Without a ton of lockdown, not a lot of gank opportunity here for Bulbo, right? Especially in that mid lane, you kind of need that CC from Tiny Neko or that CC from Motion to really lock down a kill, or else they can just sort of walk out of it,
Maybe two though.
We'll see. Okay, getting some good damage. Lands the rock on a Boyce's head, goes very low, and without any mana, forced to back off there. So it's a really nice control of the map right now from Team Exclusive. We'll see if they try to get maybe any objectives with it. They're already going over, getting some clear. They could possibly posture for the Fangtooth, but it might be a little bit too early to try and force something like that.
Yeah, they're looking for that one elimination, right? Like, and at this point, it seems that the elimination should be coming into mid lane because that's where they've been getting the most pressure. But maybe they can get something in dual lane. There's just no one really rotating between lanes at the moment other than the junglers. Like, they've all been very static in their lanes, just going back and forth through the motions, through the waves, grabbing camps where they need to. Team Up just grabbing their red buff at the moment. And eventually these fights will break out, but it's the longest that we've gone. Like, these games have gotten less bloody as they went on. Like, the first game we had over 50 eliminations, the second game we came in the neighborhood of like 40 plus, and now we're sitting at 0 eliminations by almost 7 minutes. Like, this is a really big shift over the course of the series.
Yeah, and some good damage now from Bulbo. Cure forced back off already. Ritterriffic trying to walk out, but taking a lot of damage for it. Are they able to get the bomb? No, they're not.
Yeah, they're good.
Tries to fire it off, but not able to return anything. And really nice sustain, and that's sort of the power of that Narbash, especially in those extended fights, is just being able to find that extra killing to make sure that you get out alive. And doesn't even have to, or Cure doesn't even have to blink, right? They just walk out. Ritterriffic has to get out, but Cure with the blink still is going to be very important, especially for any upcoming Fang fight. Because that blink on Kira can be really strong to secure kills, get away, or reposition, especially in your ultimate.
And as well, right, like Kira walking around with a fade, like just constantly being able to just turn into mist and dodge whatever you want to throw at her, and then still having a blink. Like, it's that double that's so annoying. And especially if you're able to build a crest on her that gives her another one of those hops. Very mobile, perhaps the most mobile ADC out there. And who knows, not mobile? It's Exclusive on Grim, so they're going to get taken out here.
Yeah, some really nice aggressive play. Again, like you said, from Team Ritterriffic, this is really what they want. And they have that elimination now. We'll see if they try and go for the Fang over it, but not quite. They're actually going to go doubling down, trying to find that Bellica now. Can see some trading in the mid lane, but Bellica forced back to her tower. Are they going to be able to land the hook? No, they're not. Neko able to get out. Meanwhile, Boinks in the mid lane just eating a ton of these autos from Seismic.
Yeah, and also, right, you could have gone for the Fangtooth, but you don't just want that elimination. You want that pressure on the duo lane. Like, you want to be able to pressure their tower, pressure their lane forward to really gain that map control. And they just couldn't do that. Like, they lost a little bit too much health here, a little bit too much mana there. And the elimination's good, but they need a little bit more for it to really be like a control situation. Ooh, Boinks, super low again. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna be able to get out this time? Yeah, they just walked back to the tower.
No up there. Able to get out, so nothing too crazy.
That's Seismic, right?
Yeah, I mean, Seismic just pushing that lead, and you can see Emob maybe looking for something, but Seismic takes the portal out. Doesn't have any mana left, but doesn't really need it. You can see it just running around, going for whatever buff that Emob decides not to go for.
Which means they're gonna get mana from it, and they can still, get out safely if they want to. I think they got both of them, maybe even. Yeah, looks like it. That's a big chunk of mana they got. Oh, they're gonna go for mini prime.
Ooh, that's an interesting play actually. Just running this raw aggression. Emob though manages to land it. Doesn't get the Whiplash. A really nice barrier from Xclusive there to spell shield anything else. The skewer was pretty nice setup, but they're not able to finish anything off. And they're gonna give it to Seismic. They really
know what their lane is. Oh my. You don't see it often, but when you see it, you know why it's happening. And for this team, you know exactly why it's happening, because Seismic has been their go-to for pretty much anything. They do know this is going on in the Fangtooth, but I don't think their jungler can get there in time now. Grayso's too far away. Should be a free take.
Are they going to be able to get out, though, is the question.
Yeah.
They are. Don't want to challenge at all. Yeah, Seismic had to take it back there as well, so... just
the rotation was too late. Yeah. You do want to challenge it when you can, obviously, but they're happy they traded the mini prime. Seismic is going to be able to build up a bigger lead in mid lane. They're going to take that first tower so early. Like, Boinks is going to have to back up here, take a lot of damage. It's going to be a free tier 1. Like, this should be tier 1, unless, like, half of Ritterriffic just all of a sudden rotates to mid, and they're just not going to do that. It's not worth it.
And you can see Demob now in the mid lane looking for something. Say gets the portal out, but it's followed immediately by Demob. They want to try and find something. Fulbo jumps over the fence, tries to find it. Demob blinks out before they can find any more. No kills in there.
But slowly but surely, this mid lane is going to be the pivoting tool for the entirety of Xclusive, or to get around that map a little bit more efficiently and again a little more safely. I just said it at the end of the last game, that mid lane is the one you really want to control, and that is the power of Xclusive. Constantly control that mid lane with Seismic. Dual lane, not so much though. Looking pretty good for Pure at this point in time. Is the only one that got elimination so far, so that's definitely looking good. And they're also being able to put pressure on this Green.exe.
Yeah, and Demob's been great. Yeah, Demob's been pretty nice on these Whiplashes so far. And hey, Seismic right there with the rock. Xanazurge does not get out of there, and thought he could maybe dance around it, but Seismic holding that RMB lands the rock, and the first kill for Team Xclusive on the board.
I don't remember who said this to me, but I know there's a Richter player that said this to me at some point. They said, like, you don't try to hit a hook. You throw the hook out when you know you can hit it, when you know you hit it. Like, it's one of those things where, like, you only shoot the hooks you can land, or you know you will land. It's not a doubt situation or try situation. Just do, or you just don't hook.
Yeah,
that's
very much in the first-person shooter camp of sort of like, don't shoot unless you're sure you can hit the headshot, right? Don't be spraying, no crouch spraying, no doing anything crazy. Wait until the headshot's lined up. Wait until that hook is lined up, and then fire when you know that you're going to land a target.
A lot of the time, what we will see from Richters when they think like that is that they sort of overcompensate by always only whiplashing when they're a little closer to the enemy, because at that point your target becomes bigger because it's closer, and then the hook travels for shorter, so it's almost like the projectile doesn't even travel anymore. And at that point, you can wonder whether the Whiplash gets as much value as it could. Like, the best Whiplashes we see are the ones that are hit from, like, the max range they can be. Because it's the max displacement. It's everything. Everything gets maxed out in a situation, so it gets the most value. So it's usually the best play. but they're also the hardest to hit. So it's the ones that not everyone will go for all the time.
Yeah,
Gotta really feel it.
Yeah, at that point, you just have to sort of realize that that's more of a skill issue, right? Quite literally, is that you have to be to get the maximum value out of Richter, right? He's one of those really high skill ceiling champions where to get the best value out of him, you need to be able to hit those max range hooks, right? You need to be able to take that hook, take the enemy, rip them away from their team and into yours rather than sort of finding anything. But the stun now comes out onto Say. The skewer's trying to find something. Seismic goes in to try and find some damage onto Boinks, but he's not going to be able to find it. Bulbo now looking for a trade back onto Boinks. Gonna need the ultimate to try and find something. Boinks manages to make that distance though, lands the stun as well. Demob still looking for some damage. Bulbo forced out. Ocean looking for something. Shield slam not gonna land. Looking for a little bit more. Some damage onto Boinks. Boinks does not have any mana left. Bulbo forced to run for the hills. Is Demob gonna be able to finish him off? Boinks jumps up into the air with that pillar, but it's just not gonna buy enough time. Motion with one. Demob on the back and be able to return that kill maul to Bulbo.
It's still 2 for 1. It's still a 2 for 1, and that becomes a 3 for 1.
Apparently. Wow, exclusive.
No, exclusive lost 3, and they only got Boinks.
Oh, right, sorry,
it's a 3 for 1. Yeah, no, it's fine. Just making sure that I got it correctly as well.
The math is good.
Yeah. We got the 3-1. 3 for 1. That's a good one. 4-2 lead. Once again, Ritterriffic being in the elimination lead was the only thing they really weren't able to do in that first game. It also took them a while for the second game, but now they're really on top of it, right? From the get-go, yes, they're still getting some pressure, or like a lot of pressure on that mid lane, but every other lane is going the way that it's supposed to. Right? They're putting on the pressure. This first tier 1 tower on a solo lane is gone. They haven't put that much tower pressure onto dual lane, but the waves push in right now. They're ahead, like they have an XP lead over their counterparts. Like everything is sort of working the way that it's supposed to in a lot of situations. We really got to see this Belica come to fruition though. Like she's not really been able to do much, and they're not really going to have an opportunity to fight if they take too long to get here. Motion does see this, but where is the Grimstone? I don't think anyone is there to really hunt. No, Grimstone won't be able to get there. That's going to be another Fangtooth 2-0.
Brimstone?
Yeah, he's in red jungle right now, but he came from like somewhere around the Ore Prime pit.
I think you mean, yeah, I think you're combining Grim and Grey. That would be a terrifying hero.
Brimstone would be real. I mean, it's a good combo to put in there, right? But a Greystone, yeah. I didn't mean the Greystone.
Speaking of Grim getting caught out right here, the Greystone getting caught out by Grim. Xanazurge about to go down. Just needs a little bit more, but are they able to get it? Xclusive from downtown manages to find it. Now Kier might be caught out just a little bit too far in advance. Seismic gets silenced right before he can do anything, but he has that time flux fan to try and find something. Now Motion looking for the dive onto Kier. Seismic able to get out, and Bulbo's able to find it. Now under tower, Ritterriffic forced back out, trying to look for something, and lots of low health bars, but not a lot of people to finish him off.
Ritterriffic looking for something. I mean, that tiny Neko low health bar is looking thunkable. I don't think Ritterriffic's gonna go for it. No, they're not gonna risk it.
Yeah, a really great fight there from Team Xclusive to manage to find something back in. Able to push that extra lead, find that pick as they can, and just really good being knowledgeable about what they can do, right? You can see Seismic already here, has the time flux, has that extra burst, so not going for that more team fight build this game. Realized last game, a lot of that came from, had this huge lead but wasn't able to put out that damage. This game, not going to have that problem, right? They have that new item. I'm forgetting the name of it off the top of my head.
It's the Equinox. They got it. It's finally here.
No. Equinox is the carry item. This one is, oh boy,
No, I think you're maybe having the wrong item in your head for the carry item.
No, Noxia. Noxia is the mage item.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. They're very similar though, right?
they are very similar. It gives that dark matter passive, which is so if you hit 2 spells in a row, it's like a combo item, right? So first ability marks them, second pops that mark to deal 5% of their magic of their max health as bonus magic damage. So really strong, especially combined with that combustion. You can see nice little side step there from Seismic. Demob goes in, manages to find the skewer, finds something. Xanazurge goes in, finds the Coliseum onto one. Motion now the last one alive. They weren't able to find that portal out, and Motion dead as well. Double kill in favor of Team Ritterriffic. Really nice play there from Demob, right? Even doesn't land the hook. Doesn't matter, just walks up, hits them with the skewer, gets the suppress, and Xanazurge with the Coliseum before that portal can land.
And again, like when we talk about a neutral objective and the Greystone is just on the other side of the map, like they do take that that tier 1 tower in the left lane, in the dual lane, so they are able to get that at least. But again, the neutral objective is gonna go. Also, the elimination advantage is gonna go here to Ritterriffic.
He has the win color. He has the win color.
I mean, he's doing it. You know, it's not even speculation. He's doing it.
He has the win color. Finally.
It's great. For anyone who doesn't know what wind collar does, we understand it's been 4 or 5 days. Wind collar, essentially, when you are healing someone, you both get a speed boost. So you don't only have to press Q, but imagine you press Q and you're also healing your teammates. Everything just goes so much faster all of a sudden, and that's how you chase things down. It's a really, really fun item. Yeah, it's good that they added it. Like, we really are starting to see what speed boost truly looks like.
Yeah, I mean, it's been in the game, but it wasn't. I think a lot of people were sleeping on it. In MOBAs, you can see this a lot. This is one of the stats that when they want to really nerf something, you hit a hero's base movement speed. Move speed is just really strong in games. It's easier to close distance, it's easier to kite, it gets you places faster. It's just an all-around probably the best stat because it affects every area of the game. And you can see Xclusive finally finished with that Plasma Blade, probably going for that Caustic actually, rather than finishing that triple crit core. Saying that the Tainted and the Plasma Blade are both going to be enough, and now just going to go for that extra pen before anything else happens.
And speaking of movement speed, right? Like the junglers got something fun as well, and then the Gaia Greaves, just making sure that you get those stacks when you're not fighting. As soon as you do the basic attack, you lose the stacks, but outside of that, you get them back really quickly. It just gets you a bunch of extra movement speed as well, so you rotate faster. It's something we see other roles failed sometimes as well, but it's very good for junglers.
Yeah, really great. And you can see the damage coming in now. Cure already dead, Motion going super aggressive. They might have found their angle. Points under tower. The damage is good, but they're being forced back out. Ritterriffic and D-Mob trying to find a little something. Bulbo forced to go into that ultimate. Tries to find more, and the damage comes through. One down already. Boink still in the back line. Denizurge maybe managing to make it out, finally getting away. Boink still, though, very low. Seismic tries to portal in, maybe can find something else. D-Mob trapped in the middle of 4, trying to run away. Boinks and Xanazurge managed to get out, but D-Mob is not going to be able to. One more auto will do it. Who's going to get it? It's going to be Tiny Neko with the Pulse Bomb. Finish it out. Fangtooth is not up, so they're not going to be able to get any crazy objectives off of that. But still, a really, really great fight there from Team Xclusive.
With the nuke back as well, like the Bellica cosmetics do look good. Let's be honest, they look really good. So good on them for picking that one up. I'm sure gonna be enjoying that for a long time. Now we are in a situation where all of a sudden Xclusive got a couple of really good deals out of that fight. And what really went well for them is that they were able to split up this backline and this front line. There was no like linear fight going on. It was very chaotic. And in that situation, especially the Steel and the Greystone really came into their element much more than like the Narbash, for example, did. That couldn't really do anything but set up or transport their team. Neither could Boinks with the Argus.
Oh man, you can see Seismic off to the edge, looking for something. Xanazurge goes into the Coliseum, immediately answered by Motion. The damage coming through, and Cure already takes out Xclusive. The damage is already there. Now the rest of the team forced to run for the hill. Seismic not there in time. Bulbo and Cure are, Xclusive already down. Cure managing to find another in Tiny Neko, and there's the Team Ritterriffic fight we were looking for. It looked for a while like they had lost their edge, but no, they have not. They were just waiting for their moment, and Team Xclusive maybe a little bit too quick to rip that Fangtooth. Seismic maybe a little bit too far out, not quite in position yet, and a really great jump onto Xclusive there, just giving no time to peel, to wait that fight out, just immediately jumping onto him, and then from there, without your carry to do that damage, the fight's pretty much over.
Yeah, I mean, and especially, right, like, even in the fight before that, Xclusive was one of their first targets. Like, they do know to go after the ADC. And we look at just the XP difference alone, like, just hit level 10 did Xclusive. Meanwhile, we have Cure already sitting on level 11 for a while. They might be hitting 12 soon. So, like, that gap has been established. When you look at the other lanes, like the jungle's going in their favor, the solo lane, at least XP-wise, not. But, you know, we've seen the Xerath do well. Those Colosseums are clutch. And when we talk about the Colosseums, what happens a lot of the time is that Zeros will actually Colosseum around where the steel is. So the steel either has to use their ultimate or a blink to get out of that to have value, because they're isolating the steel from everything else, so the steel can't do what they want to do, which is disrupt people. And then they have so much freedom to go after Exclusive, because there isn't that second tank to have to worry about with CC. There's no Crunch, there's no Richter, so it becomes a lot easier to just bully away Tiny Neko, get Exclusive, and then worry about the rest of the fight.
And you can see the team's now positioning around Orb Prime. And one thing I'd like to know, both mid laners building actual damage items, thank God, right? Boink's building that Wraith Leggings and the Costco with good damage, but Motion, I say, might be caught out. Man just land that ultimate to get away. Boink's from downtown, though, with the stun. Motion, though, dashes out to safety. Bit of a bad position there, but able to trade ultimate for ultimate, so it's not the worst. And you can see Seismic in the mid lane while all this is happening, just getting value over there, pushing it in. But that's still forced back. They might, we'll see. Are they going to rip it? No, they're not. Boink's going to be forced back to answer that split push, so not going to be able to land it.
Exclusive is now doing a thing where they're saying we're going to fight 4v5, but meanwhile, Seismic is just going to keep pushing and farming.
Yeah, Tiny Neko, though, caught out in the jungle, and this might be the fight they were looking for. Team Ritterriffic now feeding in, Motion caught out as well. Exclusive trying to pump out that damage, but it's not going to be enough. Crash, bang, boom, lands the knockup onto 3, and now it's Exclusive onto 4. Not going to be able to get it. Bulbo manages to get the blink out. Seismic looking for some damage, tries to find something with the Time Warp in, dashes in, manages to get a little bit of damage there, but it's not going to matter. Immediately ripped out of the air by D-Mob and that Whiplash. 4-0 in favor of Team Ritter. And this might be the orb. This could be an extra hours. I mean, with only Bulbo left alive, I don't think he's going to be able to go for that steal.
He is the one that can steal it the most comfortably, but it's not going to happen. Yeah, not this time around. And honestly, right, like we're looking at this, the one item that wasn't built this time by Seismic is that True Silver. Like we aren't seeing the anti-CC come out from the Gideon. And that was something that got them so much value in previous fights. Like most would say it's almost a like you have to build it basically, but they waited so long and now it's kind of already too late.
Yeah, it's really hard to get the value at this point, especially because you already went the Time Warp in, right? You already committed to having that more burst damage oriented build, but it's going to be a bit rough. You can see Boinks now, I think, building into that. Tainted, right? Yeah, Tainted. You can see the Caustica finally finished for Exclusive, so has that damage, but man, this is not what you want to see on your superstar carry, right? 1, 5, and 2, barely getting that third item 25 minutes into the game, just not having that damage to be able to pump out. Seismic kind of can make up for it, but it's really hard because Seismic has not been there at the start of these fights. You need to be there when that steal's going in, when you're landing those knockups, because if you're there after the fact, you're just going to get ripped out, right? You have that Narbash Cleaver, you have that Riplash, you have all this damage to pull you out of the air, so it doesn't really matter how much you can do if you just get chain CC'd.
I do want to say that the one thing that Exclusive definitely have going for them is like the map control, like the state of the map, right? They've got so many towers and lanes pushed in. Now they're getting pushed back because they're behind, so they have like a power level difference. But you can see like still tier 2 towers up on the side of Exclusive. On Ritterriffic, those same lanes, those towers are gone. Only the solo lane is really doing well on the side of Ritterriffic, and that's now also starting to fall. So they don't have to worry about like, oh, if we get too far behind, we don't have any inhibitors left, and they have got so many towers. Like they've got that map control sorted, but they do need to start winning fights as well and getting neutrals.
Yeah, and you can see now Team Ritterriffic just forcing in, really going for these objectives now. And I mean, like you said, this was the only thing they were really behind in, and now they're able to push that out. Have that orb buff. Gonna be going for that Primal Fang dude soon, right? They already have that 3 Fang. It's only gonna get stronger. And I mean, if you're Team Exclusive, do you just have to give this? Are you even able to take this fight? We'll see. And see them starting to walk into the jungle. They think they probably have to go for it, and this could be the final fight if they screw it up. Well,
Seismic is looking to join in this time, and Seismic would be the one that can really deal some damage out with that black hole. Seismic's so far away.
Still,
they're not gonna make it. Not
gonna be able to get it. Xanazurge immediately goes in. Exclusive force to blink out as Coliseum drops Bulbo now. Stuck in the middle of fight. Not gonna get the Stoneforge Skull off. Knocked up the first hand, and Xanazurge blinks in now. Exclusive running for the hills, but D-Mob is able to run him right back down. Neko doesn't have the Blast Cone to get out, doesn't have the blink for it. Lands the knockup. It's not gonna be enough. Xanazurge with the spear through the heart, and Say is the last one alive. Seismic looking for it, maybe with the black hole, but it's not going to be anywhere near enough. Z-Mob with the skewer to finish it off. 5 for 0, a clean ace from Team Ritterriffic, and I'd have to imagine that's the game.
MOBA's gonna be an ebb and flow, but this was one ebb. Game 1 was an ebb, and it's been flowing for Ritterriffic ever since. They're just gonna take out the core here. I mean, 8 seconds before the jungler comes back, they're not gonna be able to stop much. They do have to get some minions out of the way, but it should be fine. There could be a defense. It took a little longer than it maybe would have had to. Nah, this is gonna be it.
No, I mean, Bobo's not even gonna waste score for that one. Too many minions, too much, and Team Ritterriffic starting off down 1, but an amazing comeback. I really have to say, knowing how to shut down Xclusive, and even with Seismic getting those early leads, just playing around it. Big credit to Boinks, right? Like, even going up against Seismic here, just managing to be an anchor and do that damage, be that really consistent mage in the mid lane for their team. So just great play all around, honestly, from Team Ritterriffic. Really playing as a team.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, unfortunately, that is the last match of the night. However, doesn't mean we're done for the weekend. No, we've got more BFC coming at you tomorrow. BFC, of course, still has like the semifinals to go. The finals all be happening tomorrow. It's going to be great. It's going to be more predecessor to play. But Noct, that is it for us, unfortunately. Of course, I have to thank you for stepping in because EU times got too late for our lovely man TJ DJ.
Yeah. I mean, hey, my power went out early, so I mean, I'm just glad I got to be here today, right? It was some great games. It was a great tournament so far, and yeah, I mean, stick around, right? We got a desk segment coming up. We got some of the lead into day 2, and tune back in tomorrow for day 2, right? I mean, it's going to be exciting. If these were day 1 games, I'm looking forward to it.
And I mean, we are so in such a good place right now where we don't even get to ban everything we want to ban. We don't get to pick everyone we want to pick. It's variety. It's change. It's metas developing in series themselves, like we saw happening in this one. Everything we could ever hoped and wanted. And point 18 is new and fresh, but it's sure exciting. With that, we're going to send it back over to the desk. Enjoy the last minutes of BFC for today. And definitely don't forget to tune in tomorrow as well. See ya.
Oh my goodness, man. It has been a freaking ride. Don't you guys think the BFC5 is still kicking ass and we're still here having a great time? Big thank you to the men in class and Noct to Sarah for an amazing casting right there. Shouts out to Ritterriffic for getting the dub over Xclusive. Man, it has been freaking fantastic to see these guys go head to head. I really thought Xclusive was gonna win because yeah, I mean, Seismic on your team, he has Tiny Nico, plays with Tiny Nico all the time. But I mean, like you said, BFC is all about, you know, synergy, and yeah, Ritterriffic did an amazing job. But so let's go ahead and check out the standing, guys. Let's see what the bracket is looking like now. Okay, so we got freaking Tanjiro got the win over Easy Ed. We got Ritterriffic, the one we saw, over Xclusive. We got Jay Bozo beating it over Geek Bar, and we got K Card taking it over J Pie. So tomorrow you guys will be seeing Tanjiro going head to head against Ritterriffic and Jay Bozo going head to head against K Card, who will be our finalist. Stay tuned. But yeah, other than that, we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give you guys my last words. I just want to say thank you guys so much for being here. I'm just so grateful that we get to have fun on a Saturday like this and bring the whole community together. Yeah, man, BFC Saturday was a freaking success, and tomorrow's gonna be even better because these are the guys that made it throughout 32 teams, and there's only 4 teams left. So who is gonna take the crown? That is the question. Okay, well, I want to give a special thanks to Geronimo Jack, Lance Cecil, Pacifist, Tedium, TJ DJ, Man of Class, and Noct Sarah. I always enjoy their cast, man. I know you guys do too. Casting in a MOBA like this in a tournament setting is always the best. It just adds so much spiciness to the game. So I just want to give a big shout out to them. But everyone, please be sure to join us tomorrow with our top 4 teams at 1 p.m. EST on this channel. Make sure to follow us so you don't miss the notification. It'll be around 1 p.m. EST tomorrow. We'll have our semifinals and our finals. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for everything. My name is Kev Kaioken, and I appreciate you guys for supporting us and being here and giving us your time. We will be rating one of the Brotherhood originals. I created this Discord, this community with my boy Zays Kagune. So let's go ahead and show him some love. But yeah, guys, I'll go ahead and see y'all tomorrow. Peace out, guys. Love y'all.